Facebook, Uber, and dating sites top the list of companies collecting your personal data. This is a story from PC Mag, and it's talking about who the worst offenders are as far as collecting personal data of its users. So we're going to go through this list. You can see a few here at the top, but it's there's 48 companies or apps slash services on this list. We're going to go through them in just a minute. We're going to read this brief article first. London-based Clario, the antivirus that wants to be a friend, is also ready to help take back some privacy. Help you take back some privacy by pointing out which companies are tracking the most information about you. This goes beyond the tracking we're used to hearing about, such as using cookies to follow where you visit online, what you buy, and then using that to show you targeted advertising. Clario has created an infographic to show you the many kinds of personal info social networks, online stores, streaming services, sharing services, and more are legally collecting about you, either when you sign up or over the course of time. Clario did this by creating 32 criteria for your personal data points and looking into what each service wants or expects you to share, including your email and full name, but also your health, next of kin, mother's maiden name, and birth location. Some even want your height, weight, and health info. That goes understandably for many fitness and health apps, but also for at least one finance app. A few want work-related info, such as your current salary and past work history. No one will be shocked that the worst offender is Facebook. Imagine that. Along with its sister site, Instagram. Of Clario's 32 personal data points, Facebook collects as much as 70%. Naturally, this isn't just to make your social experience more personal, it also helps the company sell stuff to you. Instagram is a little better at 58%. It's not interested in your race, marital status, or sexual orientation, as Facebook is. Maybe the most shocking is that two dating slash matching sites come next, Tinder and Grindr. I'm glad they mentioned what Grindr was because when I was just looking through the chart down here, there's a lot of these apps I don't know what they are. Tinder and Grindr are ranked 3rd and 4th, respectively. They don't ask for much that Facebook doesn't, except height and bank account details in Tinder's case, which I suppose some potential mates are going to want to know before they swipe right. All four sites ask you about your pets. Take from that what you will. Airbnb does too, but probably with the goal of warning people about cat hair on the duvet. Of course. Uber is number 5, including info gathered for drivers and riders. The fitness app Strava is number 6, and British grocery chain Tesco is number 7. Retailers, even one as big as Amazon, aren't collecting as much as you'd think. That's interesting. Netflix gets more of your data than Amazon, eBay, or PayPal, IKEA, and Walmart, which are all tied at 23.53%. Of the social networks, WhatsApp is the lowest at 11%. TikTok gets only 14%. That's very interesting. WhatsApp is owned by Facebook. TikTok has a lot of trackers on your phone. If you you can look that up, but their app has tons of permissions, tons of trackers on your phone. But as far as what information they're asking you directly, it's not that much. Let's dive into this list here. Let's see what we've got here. Got the full list here. Yeah, you can see Facebook and Instagram are at the top. Facebook is by far the worst. They ask you for nearly everything. See email, name, age, gender / sex, sexual orientation, marital status, race, and tons of info here. So it looks like pretty much everything asks you for, nearly everything asks you for your home address. And a surprising amount of these ask you for your bank account details. But I guess that's just so they can charge you. Email, name, and age is nearly every single one. Down here at the bottom, third from the last is WhatsApp. I wonder why these are numbered like that. Oh, the tied for interesting numbers here. WhatsApp, Facetune, and Pornhub. Yeah, they don't want your data. They just want you to spend money and addict you. let's see about Facetune here. They only collect 2 pieces of information about you. That would be your name, excuse me, your email, and type of phone or device. That's interesting. You got Nike here in the middle. Airbnb collects some info, but not as much as others. Twitter's not as high up as I would think. Google Maps, not as high up as I would think. What's your top 5 are Facebook, Instagram, Tinder, Grindr, and Uber for collecting your personal info. Man, look at that. Well, it's just something that's good to know. So there you go. There's story 1 for today. We've got something else interesting over here that caught my eye. This is from The Verge. Plans to capture CO2 from coal plants wasted federal dollars. Watchdog says federal government spent money on something and the money was wasted? I find this hard to believe. The DOE funded projects that never came to fruition. No. The Biden administration wants to shove more money into projects that are supposed to capture CO2 emissions from power plants and industrial facilities before they can escape and heat up the planet. But carbon capture technologies that the Department of Energy has already supported in the name of tackling climate change have mostly fallen flat. According to a recent report by the watchdog Government Accountability Office, about $1.1 billion has flowed from the Department of Energy to carbon capture and storage, or CCS, demonstration projects since 2009. Had they panned out, 9 coal plants and industrial facilities would have been outfitted with devices that scrub most of the CO2 out of their emissions. Once captured, the CO2 can be sent via pipelines to underground storage in geologic formations. That's not what happened. The DOE doled out $684 million to 6 coal plants, but only one of them actually got built and started operating before shutting down in 2020. Of the 3 separate industrial facilities that received $438 million, just 2 got off the ground. Wow. Without more accountability, quote, DOE may risk expending significant taxpayer funds on CCS demonstrations that have little likelihood of success. You know what? This article goes on further, but I think it's obvious. To me, it's obvious 2 things. This technology is not quite ready for large-scale implementation. If it was, somebody would have done it by now. The government is just dumping money to try to appease certain groups. And big surprise, that money looks like it nearly all got wasted. Nothing came of it. So I don't think there's a problem with the idea. I think there's a problem with the technology at this point. And the government obviously just wasting money on it. So I don't think it's quite ready. It's a good idea, capturing CO2 from the atmosphere and disposing of it. But like I said, you could finish this article. There's a lot in here, but towards the end, you see the writer of this is really just pointing this out because they hate fossil fuels. So just know that going in. But there you go. There's a few stories for this morning. That's what caught my eye. You caught up. Thanks for watching and appreciate it. And you have a good day. Thanks.